Hey guys, welcome back. We're doing another tutorial today. Today we're going to be looking at how to do easy tileable geometric patterns. I don't know about you, but I really like these kind of geometric seamless patterns. It was actually one of the first reasons why I even got to Blender in the first place. I told myself if I could learn how to do quick kind of abstract tileable patterns, then I could be happy, I guess, and stop my journey of Blender. The main way of doing this is it's actually quite easy. It's mostly doing a orthographic camera and then just offsetting shapes to make sure that we have it perfectly tileable, so it's a seamless texture we can use. So this is going to be a really easy way for you to make seamless tileable textures. You can use this in larger projects for whatever. Let's hop right in. Basic scene, cool. A to select everything, push D to delete, and we're going to do a new camera just at the center of the world. Camera, and we're going to go push N. We're going to take the rotation, zero it out, and we're just going to move it up 10. We're going to have a plane here, right? And that's going to be our GeometryNodes system. So we make sure that the camera's off of it. So as we offset everything will be okay. We're going to make a new window, click and dragging, push 0 to pull into the camera view. We're going to go here into this and make it square. It's going to do 1920 by 1920. And then we're going to want to change the view of the camera to be, where is it? Here we are. Orthographic. And it makes there's no more perspective, so it's perfectly aligned. And the scale, I guess, could be 1, maybe 2. That's fine. The boundary of the plane, it's perfectly aligned, which is good. And we go into GeometryNodes, new system here. Cool. We have this plane attribute. I'm actually going to swap to a grid here, and then we're going to do, I guess, a join geometry later on. And then what we're going to do is do mesh to points. And we're going to do 2 of them. So if you look at this right here, we have this, whoops. Yeah, these points, we also want the other ones that are on the faces, right here. And we go like this. We drag these in too. So now, looking at this a bit better, we have this tiling like that, which is good. And then the main point of the trick is just doing this. So we're gonna add an integer node here, and an integer node as well here. This is going to basically be how big it is. So let's say 2. We can say 2. So now here's the trick. So you see how these are perfectly in the corners? As long as we do that, we can do whatever we want on the instance points and it will tile perfectly as long as it's symmetrical. This will make sure we can see it symmetrically. Anyway, so what we're gonna do is probably make this a lot bigger. So we can do 4 and 4. But now we can see this is not perfectly tileable because it's not on the corners. So you can just mess this around until you find it again. So here we go. At 5 on this, we also have it, connected in the corners. So it should be good to go. Essentially, the effect is almost done now. So now we have this join geometry, which is the points. On that, we're gonna instance a new shape. So instance on points. Let's do a mesh, or I guess it's a curved circle. It's easier that way. Curved circle here. And then fill curve, boom. Can pull this into 0.5. So now we kind of have that tileable circle shape we're looking for, and we can control the curved radius procedurally right there, which is nice. And then we need to offset it a little bit. So translate instances. This is why we're doing the orthographic camera and pushing it off. And we can just say the instances by the separates, or is it combine X by Z, I think? Yep. Just want the Z. All it needs to be is offset just a tiny bit. Then we can do a vector math. And then we're gonna multiply it by the index, because each of these circles is going to be moving off a little bit. So we can see them all moving. Oh, wow. This is not add, it should be multiply. Boom. So if we increase this, we can see all of them are being pushed up a tiny bit. But because of the orthographic view, we can just do a tiny, tiny offset and it will work perfectly. So let's move this. We have this material on it. We need to set the material as well. So set material. And this will allow us to have it kind of a layered effect. So it's almost like we're using different layers in Photoshop or Illustrator, but instead we're doing physical layers in a 3D program, right? But the orthographic camera will make it so that it doesn't actually matter. But essentially this is how we're making the layers, is right here. And so we go to shading, grab it, new. Let's just say wave. Let's make it easy to see texture. wave texture. We're gonna also make it just emission. That way it will render out really cleanly. We go here and here, Control T. And then we're gonna do probably object. I think we're gonna do rings. And we're gonna wanna do, what is it? We're gonna probably do spherical, I think. Nice, this should just work now. Then geometry nodes. Where is it? The plane. And then we gotta move this actually to the output. Output here. Let's actually join it here and then like that, so we still have the plane. We should still have it, nice. And then this should be the wave texture. And underneath, let's go back to that plane and make sure the plane's not that. Let's make a new texture. Let's just say background color. And let's make it an emission. Delete that. And then this can be like red to make sure we can really make sure we're seeing it. Geometry nodes, the planes there, perfect. Nice. Here we are, we're done, essentially. This is the texture. The tileable system is done. This will tile out perfectly, but let's clean up the material a tiny bit. So let's go back to here. I guess we don't want to be in the plane. We want to be into this guy. Shading. That's fine. We go to color ramp right here. And we're gonna do constant. This will clean it up a little bit. We pull in the white slider to get the ring how we want it. This is probably too much. We can say 2. Have thicker changes. Then from here, you can change the colors to be whatever you want. I'll leave it black and white for now. And then we have a perfectly tileable. But the cool thing about doing this system is as long as we set the vertices here and the size here and make sure we have the corners perfectly done, we now have a procedural way of changing how it tiles. So this is kind of fun. I kind of like this one. This fanning effect is quite nice. I'm happy with it. So I'm gonna push 0, then F12 to render it out. I'm gonna save this. I'll say save as, sure, save as. And then to make sure we actually had it work, we can go to mesh plane, grab it, nice. Let's go back to shading, grab it, new, Control T, open, downloads, wave texture. Here's the one we loaded. It's loaded in, fantastic. Then we can go value here. And as we move the scaling, we can see it scales perfectly. Like it's ready to go. It's seamless, it's tileable, it's ready to go. And then let's say we wanted to get it looking a little bit different. We just go into here, we can change the radius scaling, and we have different ways of having it feel different with the tiling or the material itself, and it will still scale perfectly, which is really cool. So that's the effect. It's super quick. I hope you guys learned something.
Augury.